So the fundamental practices of Tantra. First and foremost, it's mindfulness. I'll give you a quick version of a structured mindfulness. Feel your hands, feel your feet, feel your face. Maybe with your eyes closed or your eyes open, it doesn't really matter. Now feel the position of your whole body, and starting from the top of your head or from your feet, go through your body feeling the front and the back and the sides, so that you feel that sense of the space that you occupy. Your head in relation to your feet and hands, your hands in relation to your knees and feet. The fact that the breath is expanding and contracting your body, and that sense of front and back of your torso, and the way that your arms come out of your shoulders and your legs come out of your hips, and so on. And you can follow through on that for say 10 minutes or even 5 minutes. Just bouncing around your body, feeling the sensations of your body. Then move your attention to the outside world, the sounds that are coming through, and the looking around and seeing the colours and the shapes around you, and noticing how your breath comes in through your nose and out through your nose or your mouth. And that sense of the space that you occupy in relationship with your surroundings. Where are the sounds? Left, right? Where are the visuals in front? What kind of movement is going on in your body as you move your hands, as I just did? You can do this and develop the focus so that you simply enjoy the feeling of your body as it is, and let your mind dwell on those physical sensations. And as you do this, you build that marriage between mind and body, which is central to Tantra, the beginning and the end of Tantra. Now there's a yin and yang, a in and out of breathing. You can breathe in, you breathe out. And the third element, the Trinity, is holding. The lover's way is to let the breath flow. And as you would when you're excited in sex or excited in rage, your breathing is full on, fast and and then the warrior's approach is control, being aware of that holding moment, because the breath allows you to connect your body with your mind. And you can feel that by holding a bit. As you breathe in, you hold for a little bit. As you breathe out, you hold for a little bit. The rhythm of it, many traditions will actually count heartbeats so that you do them all equally, all 4 phases, 3 parts. Breathing in, holding your pulse to count, breathing out without a pause, then you breathe in with a pause, holding the same number of counts of your heartbeat. And feel the difference and notice how it changes. The same with when you do a process, any process. You can sit quietly and allow whatever thoughts are flowing through your mind and just observe. Ecstasy means, in Greek, to separate, to be able to observe from a separate position. It gives you the freedom from the problems and the planning of the future and the problems of the past and the present, and allows you to just be in the moment now without considering all of those issues. It's kind of a separation, a flow, as they say. And there's a video in the video list by the guy who coined the word flow and did the research on it. So you can look at him and see the history of that idea in psychology. Of course, there's a long history going back through both Chinese and Indian traditions, Buddhist traditions, and even with meditation in the Christian traditions, of doing something where you give it full attention to praying or to doing. And the two versions of it, they are, to get flow, you want to have some challenge, but you also want to feel confident and strong in yourself, the lover and the warrior, the challenge. And it's a balance between these two that allows you to get into that sense of flow when doing an activity. You feel you need to pay attention because of the challenge, and that pulls your creativity into yourself and into the activity that you're doing, and having the strength and confidence to be aware that you're able to overcome that challenge. And that allows you to marry these two ideas of feeling comfortable in yourself whilst facing a challenge. So that's building up that sense of flow. Now you can do this by doing it, building it up through dancing, because in the ancient traditions, the Shiva Nataraj was the dancer. And you can do it with sex, you can do it with fighting, you can do it with Tai Chi, which is a kind of rehearsal, a dance rehearsal of challenge, of how to overcome challenge, with that marriage. Another of the dualities that we have is between motion and feeling. When you take action, your activities, then there is the sensation. Quite often we become monofocused onto activity, and we forget the sensuality of the activity. Activity being the warrior, sensuality being the lover. We bring these together, and that's kind of what Tai Chi is all about. Being able to marry the yin and the yang, marry action with sensuality, and that's when you start to feel things like energy. Being able to feel the presence that you have while you're sitting or standing or doing the gardening or washing up or massaging your partner, and you can feel the combination. When you give, you receive. It is both together. The warrior's idea, that external approach, is to give. The lover's approach to receive. When you can feel the reception as you are giving, that brings the marriage in there. And the idea of like giving a massage and getting really turned on by the process of giving, and then taking a massage and receiving a massage and being able to get really turned on by the process of receiving. And then being able to do both, where you can, the best hug is when you give each other a massage, and whilst in a standing position. And dancing together, like the tango is Tai Chi, is a sexy Tai Chi dance, and it's got all of that energy of sexuality as you are doing a dance in a public place. You feel that energy, that flow. And what we're talking about with energy is the idea of presence. A person who has strong energy is someone who is really present. And what does present mean? Present means you're sensually alive to what's happening around you. You give focus to it. Like I said, you feel your hands and your feet. You feel the interconnection between your body, front and back and sides, and where your head is and in relation to your feet, but then where they are in relation to the bookcases. Or if you're walking through the bush, in the relation to the trees around you, and to the flowers, and to the grass under your feet, and to the chair that you're sitting in, to the screen that you're looking at, so that you've got that sense of presence because you're giving intense focus to what you're doing. And what happens is that you can go into the monofocus, which is what the warrior does, of being really, really highly focused on one activity. And then marrying that with being able to be aware of the surroundings and where you are in the surroundings, so that you have a full sensual aliveness to everything around you whilst being focused. Having a narrow focus, being able to do those two things together. We do this naturally. Anyone who is enjoying something they're doing, so this is another part of the warrior and the lover dynamic. The lover says yes. So you achieve things through saying yes to yourself and focusing on what the rewards are, the movement towards a goal and a desire, and you get there. The warrior's approach to it is discipline, saying no. I must not pay attention to this or that. The best way is a combination of the two, as I've said. You pay attention to what's happening around you, and you enjoy the sensuality of what you're looking at, what you're feeling, what you're tasting, what you're smelling, and you're also giving it strong focus. Once you feel comfortable being aware of your surroundings, that is one of the ways of setting sacred space. Then you can bring your attention into doing something that has a bit of challenge. Writing a poem, dancing in a new way to what you normally would dance. Trying something new sexually, trying a new move that you've never done before. Try painting something, try drawing something, doing something with a little bit of challenge on it. Like one of the courses I do for community is show people how that if you can handwrite, you can draw. You start from where you're comfortable with handwriting. Then you move into how the handwriting connects to drawing. And then before long, in a very short time, in an hour, you can get to the point of actually drawing very well based on what you can already do, which is to handwrite. And so it goes forward. The same with, say, visualization. Some people have problems with visualization, and some people find visualization very easy, but feeling is a problem because of different kinds of traumas and different kinds of experiences through life. Sometimes the body, through trauma, has become an enemy, that adversary, and the body seems to be out of control. Doing something as simple as breathing and being able to choose. The other thing about breathing that is so powerful is that you have to do it. And in doing it, you're faced both with the reality of your limitations, which is 7th chakra and 1st chakra, and the reality that you have choice about how to shape it, you can choose how to do it that you want to do. You have to do it, but you can choose how you do it, what shape it takes. And this is basically life. We're born, we don't have a choice about that. We die sooner or later. Sometimes there's a choice about that. What happens afterwards, who knows? There's certainly a lot of different opinions about that. But in between, you have to live in order to do anything. You don't have a choice about that. Between being born and dying, no. But you do have a choice about the shape of it. And there's this dance between what you can control and what you can't control. Thoughts come into your mind. You can choose what kind of attention you give them. Something comes into your mind and you choose to pay attention to it because it's traumatic or it's irritating, it's the product of irritation, some emotional consequence. One of the things that cognitive behavioral therapy works with is the idea that you can challenge the content of your thinking, and that will change the way you feel about it. What was the evidence for that? NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, when used in therapy, I think is much more tantric in the way that it does it. And the lover's approach is we'll ask you, how are you thinking about it? Is the thought coming through as a visual? Is the thought coming through as a voice talking to you? What are the qualities of that voice? And what are the qualities of the visual? And what are the qualities of the feeling if it comes through as a feeling first? And then what comes first? Was it a visual that came first? Was it an inner voice talking to you about your thoughts that came first? Was it a feeling that came first? That ordering of those experiences. And then you can look at, well, how does it change? If it comes through as a feeling, what part of your body was it? And was there an external spark? And what was the external spark? If it's a visual, is it in colour or black and white? Is it moving or still? If it's a voice, is it on the left or right side of your body? Is it front or back? Is it loud or quiet? What character does the voice have? Then you can actually change those things. If the feeling is a feeling of, say, coming into your heart, could you move it to the right or to the left? Could you move it down or up? If it's a visual, if it comes through as colour, can you change it to black and white? If it comes through black and white, could you change it to colour? If it's moving, can you turn it into a still? If it's still, can you move it? Can you get it moving? If it's realistic, can you turn it into a cartoon? If the voice comes through, if it's a critical voice that's coming through, can you change the accent of the voice and make it a really bad accent from France or Germany or wherever? Can you change the character of the voice? Could you turn it into the sound of a little boy or a little girl, a man or a woman? Can you move it from the left to the right or from the front to the back? So how you're experiencing the sensuality of the thoughts. The lover's approach. The warrior's approach, let's take on the content of the thoughts. In cognitive behavioural therapy, what was the evidence of that thought? What was the evidence that you have? And where did it come from? And could you think something else? Can you distract yourself and avoid the thought? All of these work. They are part of the process of the self-examination, which is the beginning. If Tantra was a plant, the roots of it are in your heart, in your body, in your subjectivity. The stalk and the trunk, the leaves are the everyday activities. And the flower and the fruit are the sexuality and the achievement of your goals. What we do is we are a gardener of our being, and it allows us to think in ecological ways. That is, you've got the first chakra where you put down your roots, second chakra you have your desires, third chakra is your body and the resources. The third chakra brings you out into the world because your body connects with the world. Your body is interactive with the world. And then you take, and so the resources that you have available are also both the internal resources of your skills and emotions and passions and thinking, but also your friends, what's in the bank, what you eat, all those sorts of things. When you take action, this is where you meet the lover or the adversary, where the warrior and the lover meet and you come into the world, and through action you communicate with the world, which is the fifth chakra. You bring the heart to meet the throat, and then you have this interaction with the world because the outside world is real, but you're taking it on as a powerful being. interacting with it, communicating through your actions and through your words. These two, the throat chakra and the heart chakra, working together to interact and connect with the world. And out of that experience comes meaning and the purpose and your sense of yourself in the world, which of course is married to your body, as in the third chakra. Sense of identity, sense of purpose, sense of who you are, all interacting with those purposes. So you get that sense of, from the third chakra in the solar plexus through to the top chakras, is you in the world connecting. And they're all interactive with each other as well as the world outside, because your desires are influenced by your outside world. So we do this, and we are continually dancing. Your attention moves from one part of your body to the other, from one thought feeling to the next, and we can sit quietly and discover our default feelings. That is, when nothing is going on, how do you feel? And can you sit with whatever those feelings are when nothing is going on? And then, when you practice with that, you can get to a point where that sitting with yourself when nothing is going on as being peaceful and comfortable. That default feeling will be peace and comfort. It may take some time to do that, because quite often when people are sitting quietly, they feel fear, which is when anxiety attacks them. They feel shame, which can lead to depression. Or they can feel rage when you have something like road rage, where people sit quietly, where their reaction to everything is based on feeling victimized enough that they have to hit out. That warrior has become out of control. And then when you breathe and sit quietly, or breathe and do something that is important and gentle, like washing up or taking a shower, doing some gardening, dancing, then you can allow that mixture of the sensuality and action to come together into the marriage of the warrior and the lover within you. Then you come to a partner, and you can enjoy the partnerships with all of that intensity, having trained yourself through desire and discipline, through motivation and discipline, working together. So they're very clear, simple, but as you can tell, also quite complex. And we'll play with all sorts of games when I meet you in person.